Hello, witches. Hello, witches, and those who love us. Welcome to the Witches Movie Coven, where witches, real witches, and goats talk about witches in movies. We want to wish everybody, first off, a happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. We are celebrating Yule around here, but I pretty much embrace everything. My name is Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. You might know me from Ghost Adventures, University Magic, yes, my regular podcast, The Witching Hour, and as I always say, bathroom walls across America. But let me introduce some of my co-hosts or pass it on to them. Let's start out with the ever color changing Richard-Lael.
Yeah, that is me. Richard-Lael is one name, not two. If I were just Richard, I'd be a... Thank you very much. That's right. I'm known as the gentleman psychic. I'm a psychic and a medium until I gained some weight. Now I'm a psychic and a large. Anyway, with that, I'm also well known in the paranormal world, Ghost Adventures, University of Magicus as well, here in New Orleans reading tarot. Also, hit the like and subscribe. All of the comments, they help us to feed the algorithm. So if you've made it this far, hit that like and subscribe. You may think you're subscribed and you're not, but you need to also go right over here, join the coven over here. You can wear, you can get into Patty's panties. You can sleep with me. You can deal with bro witches. You can not mind it. You can get Courtney quotes. You can get all those things just right over there at mrcontrol.com. Right.
Yes. Thank you very much. Now let's go down to the petting a pussy, Miss Courtney Buckley.
Well, what a Wednesday it is. That's me, Courtney Buckley, ghost beat on Scared and Alone. I forgot my goat, so I brought a familiar. This is Dahlia. She decided that she wants to be a paid actress today, so she's going to be on the podcast.
That is beautiful. And wearing his perfect Steelers Santa hat, Jason Mankey.
I am Jason Mankey, author of many books. You might know me from your local witchcraft store bookshelf, including Llewellyn's Little Book of Yule, which is always my favorite book this particular time of year. This is the best time of year.
Thank you very much. And never least, and beautiful hair today, I must say, Heather Greene.
Thank you. I just woke up like this.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am Heather Greene, and I am the author of Lights, Camera, Witchcraft, which is a critical history of witches in American film and television. And I am also a journalist and an editor, and I work with all types of and cover all types of things occult and esoteric and witchcraft in the media, and working with authors like some of the wonderful folks here. Yep, there's Dollcraft that's popped up. That's Patty's. I did work on that one. And I am so excited. Jason's, of course, I'm not Jason's editor, but also a Llewellyn author, so part of the team, right?
Right.
So I am happy to be here for Wednesday to start the Christmas season off here with our movie watching. So
yes, thank you very much. Thank you. So this week's movie, it's a holiday movie. It is Red One. It's a fairly new movie, just came out last year. Hopefully you guys all watched it. I know some of you did. And we want to thank all of you who are so loyal to us, and you come along and you watch the movie and you vote. You are what we live for. You are literally what we're here for. But if you didn't watch it, just in case you didn't watch Red One, or you didn't see it when it came out, or you didn't see it now on Amazon, Richard-Lael, do you have an unbiased synopsis?
Oh, God.
I have something today.
Yeah.
If you did not watch this film and you made a mistake and you watched the wrong one, it could be Red Number 2.
Oh.
Anyway, if you like a 2-hour commercial for Hot Wheels and commercialism, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson acting like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, then have I got a film for you. So in the pivotal role of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as in every single role he's ever played in Hollywood, he plays a security guard known as an elf to the one and only St. Nicholas, whom, for whatever reason, being the busiest man in the world, has enough time to go to every single mall in the United States and deal with lines of children, because of course he does. He's magic. Meanwhile, Chris Evans, Captain America, is a dum-dum and somehow hacks into the security system that protects St. Nicholas from invaders. And so this other person ends up by kidnapping Santa Claus. And so they go on this adventure to find said Santa Claus. As it turns out, Sabrina, the teenage Christmas witch, is the one behind it. Gorilla is not a gorilla, but a gorilla. Gorilla is actually an Icelandic seasonal not sea witch, but an Icelandic seasonal witch. Anyway, nonetheless, they go through all of the adventures. You find out that, of course, true capitalism, all of the toy stores all across the world have a back room, which actually leads to other back rooms in other toy stores because magic. And so Hot Wheels get to be life size. And of course, Chris Evans is lusting after Wonder Woman. Of course he does, because Captain America. And of course, there's a talking polar bear a la Coca-Cola. And then, of course, all is right with the world when Krampus is brought in, and you find out that Krampus is actually the half-brother of Santa Claus, and they used to work together, but they don't anymore. Santa Claus is saved. Gorilla is locked into a snow globe forever. That's about it. That's what I have. Like it or not, happy Xmas.
Thank you. Now that we have the complete plot line, Heather, do we have any more information? Perhaps 5 things that we also, in addition to that, need to know about this movie?
I got some for you.
Yeah.
So there's a few things to talk about. First of all, Red One is a 2024 movie, so it's fairly recent. And it was a box office bomb. If you hadn't,
imagine why.
I know it's hard to discover. So it was actually, I think last week we also had a box office bomb, but that made money. It just didn't make enough money to be considered successful. This one actually didn't make enough money to cover its budget. So its budget was over 200 million. I think it topped at 250, but I saw different figures in different sites. So that's an expensive top box office movie. And it bombed. So one of the reasons why is it was supposed to only be Amazon. The Amazon studios were only supposed to release it on Prime for streaming, but Dwayne Johnson insisted that it go to theaters. It had a theatrical release, and apparently it also had a what's the big IMAX release too. Supposedly, I didn't discover if that actually happened, but he wanted it to have that. So he wanted a bigger release for it, which may have been part of the problem. So let's talk about the director, because this is obviously a Dwayne Johnson vehicle, as already we've heard. So this was conceived of by his team, by The Rock's team. Basically, the idea came out of the president of his production company, which is $7 Productions, came up with the idea while they were doing a Fast and Furious sequel or spinoff. And he said, "Oh, I'm going to make this story." Okay. He sold it, meaning everybody liked it. They got on board, and including Dwayne Johnson loved it. And they hired director Jake Kasdan to direct it, who did Jumanji 2 and 3. So he been involved with this. The writer is, along with Hiram Garcia, who came up with the idea, is Chris Morgan. And Chris Morgan wrote Fast and Furious, my favorite Fast and Furious, actually, 2006 Tokyo Drift, which is the only Fast and Furious that I like. So he wrote that, and so he's known for the Fast and Furious. Hey, Tokyo Drift is awesome.
I'm not saying it's not the best of the movies, but it's the only one that's worth seeing. They go to space. They go to space in a Pontiac Fiero. That will never be topped. Ever.
I did not say it was the only one worth watching. I said it was the only one I like. So there's a difference. There's a difference. Yeah. I will watch any of them. But anyway, he is known for Fast and Furious and also produced The Mummy. So he's been involved with this crew. So the crew itself that built this movie is a Dwayne Johnson crew. So this is very much a Dwayne Johnson vehicle movie. Let's talk about the cast, of course. Well, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and it depends on your age and who you are and how you know him, of course, Fast and Furious and a lot of movies like that. If you're younger, you probably know him for Moana. And there you go. He was a wrestler. Yes, if you're into wrestling, he still wrestles, I believe, part-time, from what I understand. I don't follow his career. We also have Chris Evans, who everybody probably recognizes him first and foremost as Captain America, as we've already seen. I just saw him in a movie called Ghosted, Fantastic Four. He's been in a ton of stuff, but he's known for the Marvel Universe for the most part. J.K. Simmons of Santa Claus. He is also very recognizable face. He's been in a ton of things. Here he is as Santa Claus, and he was in the Spider-Man movies. He's in one of my favorite movie musicals, La La Land. He was in Whiplash, Juno, and a ton of stuff, and we can go on and on and on. I don't think we've seen him yet in one of our movies. Lucy Liu, another super recognizable face from way, 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 way back. You talk about Charlie's Angels, Ally McBeal, Kill Bill, and of course, one of my favorite musicals, I always have to bring it up, Chicago. Then, of course, Grayla, we have Kiernan Shipka. That is the face of Sabrina from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, if you did not recognize her. She was in other things like Mad Men as well, but that's what she's most known for at this point. And then finally, one of my favorites, I just want to bring up this last one, and this is a huge cast. I could go on and on, but I have to bring up one more. I have to bring up Krampus. So it's hard to recognize who he is probably, but Christopher, and I can't pronounce his last name, Hivju, I don't know, what is actually Tormund in the Game of Thrones. If you don't recognize him, he was the wildling with the red hair. He was the leader of the wildlings.
Holy crap. Sorry. Holy crap.
That I love when I find those little fun things like that.
Yeah.
So that's who that was behind that mask. So let's go to number 4. Number 4, I want to talk about a little Easter egg situation. So with video games, because this movie, of course, is going to pull in people that love video games. If you love playing video games, you might have noticed them fighting over PlayStations, the mention of the Switch, the Nintendo Switch and everything. Well, those are throughout. There he is. That's Tormund. He was one of my favorite characters in Game of Thrones. So that was a really fun discovery. Anyway, back to the PlayStation. So you see there's a bunch of Nintendo things throughout that they mention. Then at the end, at some point, the little boy says, let me see, I want the video game Vampires Assassin 4, the video game. And then at the end of the movie, Santa puts that video game, that PlayStation video game, into one of the stockings. It shows up. Again, there is no video game called Vampires Assassin 4. This was made up, and apparently they had to actually do a little thing saying, hey, we don't have this video game. People wanted it. Doesn't exist. It was made for the movie. So it's a little kind of Easter egg fun thing. And then finally, the big thing is that Dwayne Johnson wanted to do a Christmas movie. They really wanted to bring in the mythology and bring in all the things that are possible from Christmas, which they did not do, but they did bring in a bunch of mythology. And we have Krampus. Aside from Santa Claus, yeah, there you go. Aside from Santa Claus himself, who is his own mythology, and there's lots of that. You have Krampus, and I love the fact that he said Krampusnacht is not tonight. Krampusnacht is December 5th. And I just worked on a dark half of the year manuscript with a bunch of people from Austria. So I got all the stuff about Krampus in my head after that work. Gryla, of course. Gryla appeared also in Sabrina, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. There was an episode with her in it. If you didn't see that, you would recognize it, but she is from Icelandic mythology, as Richard-Lael says. She is a witch and an ogre and a monster and mother of the 13 Yule lads, who you also see represented there. So you have a little bit of that going on. Of course, the snowmen, which look like Frosty, could be the Jotun ice giants. If we're sticking with the sort of Nordic theme of this movie, they could be considered that. And you have a number of other things going on here. And I don't know about the Krampus schlap. I'm not sure if there's any tradition there, but you do have the end name that he says. I think he yells out, Kavalamel, I think is what Santa says at the end, which is also connected to Santa Claus's lore. So they did do some research to pull in a bunch of lore to piecemeal it together to create this story. I don't know why the Headless Horseman shows up, but that's a whole nother
because it was the nightmare before Christmas, I'm certain of
it. Something like that. So those are the 5 kind of fun things to pull out that I pulled out from this, just to give you a little bit extra stuff, and we can now discuss how much we love this movie and how we're so in the Christmas spirit after it.
Exactly. Richard?
Well, I'm here. You know what? I'm going to tell you. There were moments that I didn't hate it. There was one moment though that was really sort of prescient that bothered me more than it should have. And I'm certain it was supposed to be innocent, but it was not. I didn't think it was funny. They were trying to protect this man from literal ICE agents, and that really, because of everything that's happening and because it's here in New Orleans, it really bothered me. I know ICE, ha ha ha, funny, like literally they're ICE. That's what they are. But I felt that it was I felt that was tacky. On the other hand, I will tell you, I wanted to hate this film. I went into this film saying, bah humbug. And that's all I'm going to say for now.
Okay. Thank you. Courtney, with your mouth open.
Yeah, you're welcome, everyone, for this, because this was my idea and I'll take credit for it. I saw this movie in the theaters, and I think we talked about this last week, was immediately texting the group chat the second they said the word witch, and because I was so excited to get to talk about it. So I've been waiting a year for this. I love it. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies now. I love The Rock. I think he's great, even though he plays the same character in every movie. I never get tired of it. Krampus being Tormund, no wonder I love him as much as I do. That makes a lot of sense. Also, Sabrina as the witch, like as Gryla. I want to be Gryla when I grow up, in both her mastermind form and then also the ogre form. And I loved the whole like her being Krampus's ex, and like him calling her like whatever he called it, like your miserable voice or something. I thought it was so funny. So yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I love a good Santa action film. I love Santa. I love Christmas. So it did no wrong for me.
Thank you. All right. Anybody want to jump in? I'll jump in. I liked it. I did like it. I'm not a big action adventure thing, and I like Rock well enough, whatever his name is. He may not, he's no Nick Cage. He doesn't have that curly, wavy Jason. No. But I, again, right now, because my life is crazy and busy and focused and everything, if I'm going to watch a movie, I just want to be entertained. I don't know how intelligent I need to get or anything like that. And I just thought for all the less than clever stuff, I thought it had enough clever stuff to actually keep me entertained. I like a Hot Wheels turning into a real car, stock up or whatever he said. It's like, oh, I want to be able to do that. I like showing the good and bad within humanity and then good winning out in the end. I liked the Krampus thing. So even though I was really, really tired and it was really, really late, I pretty much almost most of the way stayed awake, which is saying a lot. And it, again, holiday spirit. It was holiday spirit and not real reverent about it, which I liked. So yeah. So sorry, guys. I'm with you, Courtney. Jason.
This is a deeply stupid movie. However, that doesn't mean that it's not fun. And despite like not wanting to like it before the show, I saw it last Christmas too. I still think it's fun, and I got caught up in it again, and it moves pretty quickly. It's not going to change the world, But if you have to entertain a 12-year-old, this is a great movie, I think, to entertain a 12-year-old. And I am like a 12-year-old, so I was pretty well entertained. There are huge plot holes and other things that we can make fun of later. But again, it's a fun little holiday movie. I think The Rock's great. I love The Rock. The cast is outstanding. I don't know how you convince these people, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, to be in this movie other than money. But you know, you couldn't ask for much better. I mean, it's certainly better than a Hallmark Christmas movie shot in July in Canada, instead of the Wisconsin Christmas tree farm where it's supposed to be set.
Thank you. I love J.K. Simmons as super fit Santa Claus. That was just really cool. Working out Santa Claus. I like the whole he's not fat Santa. I think that was kind of brilliant.
100 push-ups there, Cal. I just did 100 push-ups.
Good. Good.
Heather?
Well, there were parts of this movie that I liked. There were parts of it, like I like J.K. Simmons as Santa. I thought that was great. I feel like the movie had pieces that were good, and I feel like it was just like cobbled together, and I was kind of disappointed because I thought the premise was actually it had some really good premise, and it spent too much time trying to be the action movie and not enough time trying to be the Christmas movie and really diving into all that kind of the fantasy part of it. Like I love the fact that Krampus wasn't completely demonized and that he actually was a dude. He was just another Christmas dude that's around. I mean, there were a couple mentions of connecting him to demons and Satan, but it wasn't, it wasn't bad, like it just. So I was kind of disappointed. I'm like, lean into that part. I think Ryan Reynolds would have done better than Chris Evans. It would have been even better because it wasn't funny, and it could have been funnier. It could have been more clever. It could have leaned into its cleverness because there were some pieces. So I was like, I would have put it on for my kids. Don't you hex me, Courtney. I see you're trying to hold back.
It's already forming in my brain.
Would I watch it again? Sure. It was entertaining enough, but I was kind of disappointed. I think they missed the mark. They had something and they missed the mark. That's my feeling about it. And so I was like, I could, and if I was to dig deep, if I was to there's a lot of things that I could work with in terms of thinking through this. If I was going to write something on it, I'm not sure if I love the end premise. I don't know if I kind of like the fact that you kind of have to have a Krampus. Like, I don't like Santa, like they kind of banished him, but you can't just give everybody gifts and not have a Krampus. So I was kind of disappointed that Krampus wasn't allowed out. So
that's why St. Nicholas gives lumps of coal to naughty children, because he's supposed to mark them for Krampus to take them down to be punished.
I don't know. I don't know. It was fun enough. It was fun enough. I didn't mind it.
It took itself very seriously, though. I would have liked to have seen a little more hamminess in it, a little more winking at the camera, and we didn't really get that. And everyone knows that the lines that they were saying were pure stupidity in a lot of places. And
there was but there were some good lines. There were some good lines, but they didn't play into it. They weren't, like you said, hammy enough. Like that's why I was like, if Ryan Reynolds had done Chris Evans' role, it might have played better. And I like Chris Evans. I don't have a problem with him. I like him as Captain America a lot, but I don't know. It's I would have put it on for my kids when they were young. I would have watched it then, and then I would forget about it probably. And I like all the actors too. It didn't hit the mark for me. Sorry, guys.
I'll say that like
so Mystic Shield.
You better prepare your Mystic Shield because it's coming. I saw it in the theater the first time, and I think that did make a difference for me from watching it now, because I think I felt more engaged in the action part of it when it was on the huge screen and it was really, really loud. So it was like almost a distraction. Like, we know I love a stupid movie, but it was almost a distraction from how bad it was, which I love, but it got me more immersed in the action. And then sitting there and watching it and like having no idea, all I knew going in was that it was a Christmas movie, a Christmas action movie with The Rock. That was it. So sitting there, being immersed in the action, seeing all like I always love when they do that, like the however they play off the North Pole, like with whatever technology Santa has and whatever magic Santa has, and then seeing like all of the references to like the Icelandic things, so like to Krampus, to what, and it felt like it just kept coming and coming and oh my god, are they doing that? And oh my god, a witch? Like what? A Christmas witch? Like this is the best thing I've ever seen. So I think there was a difference seeing it, and I've said this before that some movies are just meant to be seen in the theater, and I'm glad that they released this in the theater and that I got to see it that way, because I think that helped my love for it.
I think you might be right, because I paid $20 to see this film on my computer, and I watched about 30 seconds of it, and then for whatever reason, it blinked off the screen and said licensing error. And then I went to my trusty mobile device and I watched it this way, like this way, so that I could also play on Facebook. So I literally watched it like it was like an inch. And it was, I think I would have maybe enjoyed it more had I been able to actually see what was going on.
You definitely. Sorry. No, I'm the girl who always used to watch till I had my Roku, watched everything on my phone in the middle of the night. Changes everything once you can actually see things, and especially with big action movies, because it's about the big action. Everything everybody's saying is great. I was just entertained. Because it seemed like because they didn't play everything right, they tried too hard sometimes. I don't know what that means, but it's like you're trying a little too hard.
The snowman.
But see, sometimes that's what I love about the stupidity of movies like this, is like when they take it too seriously. Like when we watched Your Highness, I don't know how they delivered their lines. They were all so ridiculous, but they like take it so seriously on screen that makes it funnier. So to me, the fact that they were so like, whatever he was saying about all the acronyms that they had, like the E.L.F and whatever else, like it was like a military operation, is that to me hilarious, because they're playing it off that way, that it's so serious. I love that. I think that helps sell it for me.
I don't know. Sometimes I think there's an image a lot of us have when it comes to the North Pole and who is at the North Pole and what they should look like. And perhaps I'm a little too fond of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but when it doesn't look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, it doesn't hit as hard for me. Like they're trying too hard to make this like super modern Santa. And I want, Bumble things like stumbling in. I want it to be a little less processed, a little less electronic North Pole. I want the elves to be making toys. Heck, I want to see elves, like actual elves running around, because to me that is the Santa Claus myth. So in that sense, I didn't like those reimaginings, but credit for Gorilla and the Krampus, because I love all those to Americans strange European traditions around the holidays, and I think that their holidays are better because they have those figures. I think deterrents are great. I think that something other than Santa Claus is great. So I like that they put those elements into the story, because they're not things that you typically see in Christmas movies. You certainly don't see Grilla in anything, or any mention of the Yule lads outside of Iceland. Krampus a little more popular these days, and of course there was the Krampus movie a few years ago. But yeah, it was great seeing those figures. But don't make my North Pole like that. Where's my dentist? Where is my dentist?
I disagree. I feel like you can love them all equally. Coming from a kid who loved Santa more than life itself, like I was a full stop believer. I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast. I was in 4th grade getting in fights at school because the kids were saying some things that I did not agree with regarding Santa. And I watched the Santa Claus, and this is why I hate this movie to this day, because it ruined my life. But I went to my mom and I asked, I was like, if it's an apartment, they don't have a chimney or a fireplace, how does Santa get in the house? And my mom panicked and thought that was me like questioning everything. And she just like panicked and spit out, well, it's magic. And me took that and I was like, oh, of course it is magic. How did I not know that? Like, why didn't I think of that? And then I just moved on with my life. I was convinced that I had seen sleigh tracks on my neighbor's roof. Like, you couldn't tell me otherwise. And then the news was broken to me, and I mourned for days, sobbing in my room because I felt like I had lost a loved one. And now I love any Santa, any version of Santa. It's 2025. We got to get with the time. Santa cannot always be that, Herbie with the dentist. Herbie wants to be a dentist Santa, and that's magic in and of itself. But I think before witchcraft was ever a part of my life, I learned how to believe in magic wholeheartedly because of my love of Santa. So I think you can love every iteration of Santa, and there's something to that. And I want to talk about that a little bit more later when I talk about quotes, but I think that it's important to have whatever version of it works, including bad Santa, because that's still magic too.
Well,
and that's
Christmas
the part
pickles.
that I like. That's one of the parts I liked. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason.
No, I was just talking about Christmas pickles. That's they come from bad Santa.
No, I loved the part that modernized and the whole militarization of that. I thought that was really fun and clever. I love seeing Lucy. Lucy is an old friend of mine. I took her through Hollywood in her early days before anybody knew who she was. I took her through the '94 earthquake, shaking on my lap for 24 hours. And she is brilliant. And I just thought that she did really great with this, and she doesn't always get to do that. She's a good actress, and she just came in and played with that. And I thought that was really cool. And I love the military thing.
And I agree, Patti. I think, like I said, there's pieces that I liked about this movie, and it's not like overall it's just okay because it was linked together. It was like felt patchwork to me, but I liked the concept. I like the concept of them, we always see these Santa Claus North Poles looking like they're Charles Dickens. They always have that feel, which I love. That feels like Christmas because that's what we're used to. The Coca-Cola Santa and all that stuff. I love all of that. There's a romanticism around that. But this is kind of fun. I love the fit Santa, the all of the turns on that. That is, the concept was good. I just feel like they needed to lean into all of that and the cleverness of the lines and like the hokiness of it a little bit more. Do it straight, but it's like they just kind of like miss the mark on it a little bit. It's not balanced right to be the movie I would want it to be. But Gryla, Krampus, bring all of those guys. Let's do that. I completely agree with Jason on that. Let's see more of these European things. In fact, I know my authors from Austria I'm working on the book with, they barely knew Santa Claus. And I've interviewed a bunch of pagans that are in Italy as well over the years. And they also, Santa Claus not a big deal over there, the way he is here in the US. And they're like, yeah, most people don't get Santa over there. We don't realize that. So having these other ones, Christmas witches and ogres and Yule lads.
Let's do the Yule goat next. That would be great. In the sequel, Red 1, 2, and then Red 1, 2, 3. We'll go through all of the mythology. We'll get a Christ kind in there. That's like a Christmas gift giver. Female was originally the baby Jesus, and then it becomes a 12-year-old girl. Christmas traditions are weird, but yeah, let's bring them all in. Let's bring them all in.
Yes,
okay.
Let's do it.
We will. So again, as you can see, we're all a little mixed. Do we happen to have any quotes on this, Miss Courtney?
Yes. So I have two. One, I there's a lot of good quotes in this movie, but there's one that really stuck with me that I want to talk about a little bit. The first one I feel like is our t-shirt for the night, which was The Rock says "Merry Christmas, witch" at the end, and I thought that was amazing. But the other one that I want to talk about was a conversation between The Rock and Santa. And I think it was when The Rock was trying to give his notice. And he said, "You say it all the time, Nick. We choose every day who we want to be, with big decisions and little ones, and every one of them matters. But I look around and they act like none of it matters." And Santa says, if nothing matters to them, it seems to me they need us now more than ever." And The Rock says, "That's why there's only one you, and no one with my doubts should be so close to you. You need someone younger, someone 300 years old in their prime, who wants to change things." And Santa says, "Not our job to change people, Cal. People change themselves. We just show them that we believe in them, all of them, because we know who they really are deep down. We know that somewhere inside every lost grown-up is the kid they once were. Our gift is that we can see that even when they can't." And that, to me, struck a chord because of how I feel about Santa today. I still believe in Santa. And I when I was in college, I took a public speaking class, and our end of the term like final project, it was a persuasive speech. We had to convince the audience of something, and I asked my teacher if I could do this, and she was kind of wary about it, but I pulled it off. So my speech was why Santa is real. And I dressed up like Santa and I performed. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and I handed out packets with like Christmas crosswords and candy canes and whatever else. And it was all very festive. And then I had like statistics of they took polls of mall Santas and what were their favorite cookies overall and what was their favorite Christmas carol and blah, blah, blah. And then I talked about all of the origins of Santa from across the world and all the different versions of it. But I connected it all into what I still believe today, which is Santa is real because Santa is the magic in all of us. And Santa represents that giving, just to give, with no credit expected, no anything, just to make someone happy and make someone feel good. It doesn't have to be materialistic, but just to give. And I think that there's a little Santa in all of us. And that's, we are the magic. And, you know, as kids grow up and they learn that aspect of it, then, you know, they have younger siblings or they have people in their lives that are younger than them, then they become the magic too. And it's to me the greatest tradition of all, which is being the good, just to be good and make people feel good. So that quote stood out to me a lot, and I don't know, I love this movie. So
thank you. That's the holiday spirit indeed, Courtney. Thank you. And to continue with the holiday spirit, Jason,
Let's ruin the holiday spirit right now.
Moment here.
Let's ruin it right now. Red One. The name sounds like a Star Wars film and not a Christmas movie. Red One, this is Gold Leader, Flight Pattern Alpha. Attack and disable the Star Destroyer. Gold Leader, this is Red One. Somehow Palpatine returned. Red One is deeply stupid and feels like something concocted by artificial intelligence to create the perfect streaming movie for older children and geeks like myself who line up for Marvel movies and cry during films like this year's Superman. Seriously, Red One is like an algebra equation. The Rock over CGI snowmen squared divided by Captain America plus one Charlie's Angel minus convincing dialogue multiplied by Buff J. Jonah Jameson Santa over one Helen Hunt minus the powers of Ant-Man equals Red One. And there's just so much dumb in this film to go around. Somehow Santa's reindeer have transformed from the 8 tiny reindeer introduced in the Night Before Christmas poem into 8 huge reindeer the size of semi-trucks because of, duh, Christmas needs to be strong, bro. There's also a talking polar bear who wears people clothes and moonlights as an MMA fighter. Why a giant talking polar bear? Because polar bears are swole, bro. What's it gonna be? A talking chipmunk or a chumpy goat? Again, this is part of the AI algorithm to give us some sort of weird Christmas Avengers movie starring an actual Avenger. I could possibly forgive some of that stupidity if it weren't for the dumbest twist of all. Santa, despite being super buff, Santa's gotta be ripped, bro, is a pushover. One of the greatest sins against Yuletide in the United States has been the removal of deterrence against children's bad behavior. Instead of menaces like Grilla and Krampus, we've been left with only snitches like Elf on a shelf, and everybody knows that. Snitches get stitches, bro. Those elves don't own me. I will take them off the shelf and pound them. With my fists, bro. Don't come at me like that. Because it's clear within 90 seconds of meeting the characters, Jack Captain America O'Malley and his son Haircut, that they both need some of Krampus's hard love. This is one of those movies, kind of like the new Jurassic Park films, where you desperately want to see the kids get eaten by dinosaurs or trapped in a snow globe forever. Seriously, the world would be in better shape if Greenland one and the naughty were just punished like they deserve to be. You're a bad kid? No Christmas for you. I'm completely down with that, and you should be too. By exiling Krampus, you've removed Yuletide's speed bump, an okay to world where it's okay to act like a spoiled brat. I am spoiled brat, bro. Spoiled in all these jack muscles. Of course, by the end of the film, everyone is filled with Christmas spirit, and it's just enough to break the curse of the Christmas witch, but there's still got to be a big CGI-filled fight, of course. And oh, look, wow, what a surprise. Krampus has come around, and now he's on Santa's side. Yay! But we all know what Krampus should be doing is whooping that ass and putting bad kids in his basket so they don't become even worse human beings. It's nice to see people investing in Christmas movies and even using a few overlooked holiday figures from folklore, but I would have preferred a film not derived from an algorithm.
His son Haircut is the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
That kid is not likable in this film. I'm
He's
sorry.
not a likable kid.
No, it was bad casting. The kid needs to be likable. He's not likable. I almost called him worse things than Haircut, but I settled on Haircut because this is a family show.
I can't disagree with what you said. I mean, I can't disagree with that commentary. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with it either, but I also love it in spite of that. Or maybe because of that.
I mean, as we said before, I think all of us think it's kind of fun in its own way, while also being incredibly stupid. I love the Venom movies, for example, and those are incredibly, incredibly stupid. Some of the dumbest superhero movies ever made. And I saw the first one twice in a theater, and it cost $20 to go to a theater in the Bay Area. So, stupid can be great too, but you also have to admit that it's stupid.
Yeah, hence The Killing Tree, which is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. Also, there was a quick discussion in the chat earlier that I was going to comment on and didn't, where people were talking about, well, we could have watched a Hallmark movie instead. Guess what? Guess who likes those too? Me. Because they're stupid. So
I would rather have a Hallmark movie.
I would rather actually watch this one.
I would rather watch this one than a Hallmark movie. Yeah. A little more clever. All right. Well, we have the next thing to do is vote. Wands up or wands down. Oh, but I hear someone knocking at my door. I'm going to slip out early, but let's do the vote first because I'm going to the Pantages Theater tonight with my friend to see the opening of Stereophonic. Not that I want to leave you, but everybody, you guys who watched it, please, wands up or wands down. I can't find my wand, but I'm going to do a bell. Bell, because it's a holiday bell. I'm going to do bells up. I don't know how is that up?
I forgot my wand. I have a Baby Yoda puppet, so that's
okay. So we've got up for me, up for Courtney, halfway, and almost erect for Jason. Or is that
that's what she said.
Mm-hmm. It actually surprises me that Jason has ranked it that highly.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a sucker for Christmas.
Well, you guys aren't not very many of you are voting. Here we are. One's up. Well, I haven't got anything but ups so far.
One's way down.
Way down.
Colin is on the next list over anyone else. Just so we're aware. Colin, your time has come. I'm coming for you. I
Anyway,
have my jar ready to go.
I am going to turn this holiday over to all of you. Richard-Lael, will you take over for me the basic hosting
Sure.
duties? I am sneaking
Of
out.
course,
You didn't even
enjoy.
notice that I am gone. I love you all madly. We'll see you next week. You guys let me know what we decided on for next week. Way down again. Up, up, down. Anyway, love you. Happy holidays. Bye.
Oh,
Time
it's Nick
is
Cage
Patti.
going again.
The
We're
timing on that.
Rolling.
Come in.
That's funny. Actually, Courtney, I wanted to piggyback on something you talked about Santa Claus being real in the spirit of Santa. That was a very touching story. And, you know, people who have followed me any amount of time know that I grew up very religious, very Pentecostal. And strangely, the funny thing is that my parents, both of them loved Christmas and they loved Santa more than anything else. My father was born in 1930. My mother was 39, and they loved Santa Claus. And I remember when I was a little boy, they would dress me up as Santa Claus, and they told me, they said this: Santa Claus is a season of giving. He is a symbol of hope for a lot of people. And where there was a real Santa Claus, he is no longer alive, and it is not your place to tell children that he does not exist. Let their parents do it if they want to, but the spirit of Santa Claus does exist and is real. That was what my parents told me when I was a little boy. Now, that being said, I hate Xmas. It is my least favorite. But
You're a mean one, Mr. Richard-Lael.
I am.
well, you know, I think the last time I'm gonna blow your mind. So I left Missouri. My father had passed away, and I was still trying to carry on those traditions. I moved to Las Vegas, and I had a Christmas tree. I did. I had a Christmas tree, and I had the theme was Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and there was a hat on top with streamers, and I had playing cards, and I had a tea set all over it, and dried roses and red and white. It was pretty. And then my friends told me, I was like, I'm going to take it down. And I had several who would come over every Wednesday night for Coven. They would come over for tea in the afternoon, then we'd have dinner. And they were like, no, please don't take it down. Please don't take it down. It's such a work of art. Please don't take it down. And I left that tree up, I am not kidding, for 4 months.
Richard-Lael, my tree has been up for 4 years because I don't take it down.
And now I will never put up another tree. Ever, ever. I am Christmased out. That being said, what is your favorite holiday? Anybody? What's your favorite holiday?
Halloween, obviously, because I live
Halloween.
and breathe Halloween. That's who I am as a person.
Heather Greene?
But also Christmas.
I think from Christmas all the way through, Halloween, October all the way through New Year
I can see that.
I just love the season. It's not, I'm a Gemini. Don't ask me to name my favorite. That's not fair ever.
Jason, I know that Jason loves Yule, but Jason, what is your favorite?
I'm a lot like Heather. It's really a season where all those holidays kind of meld together from the end of October through at least January 6th, including January 4th, which is mine and Doreen Valiente's birthday. But if I had to pick one, like if it was one day, it would be Thanksgiving, because there's less pressure and all I have to do is cook, drink mimosas and then champagne and then good wine and then maybe mixed drinks at the end, and then eat lots of food. So I think it's a great day, but it's really the season that I love more than anything else.
I'm going to chime in just real quick because we're talking about seasonal traditions, and I grew up in one of those apartments where it didn't have a fireplace. So we asked very early on, how come Santa comes to us? And the answer was always the same. It's magic, because he can come through. Somehow he can come into our apartment, even though there was no fireplace. I also grew up in a family that was not Christian at all. Jewish and secular, very secular family. So we had Christmas dinner, and everybody at the table was either Jewish or atheist or something. We had, I mean, my mom's family is Jewish. My dad's family, my dad was not. My dad's family is Catholic, but not celebratory at all, so secular. And so we'd never experienced Christmas in the Christian sense. I always experienced it in the secular sense, but it wasn't commercial. That what it was that same feeling that you get. We watched all the shows, we did all the stuff, we had Christmas every morning, and we were able to capture the magic that Courtney's talking about, that Jason's talking about, even Richard-Lael, when you're talking about your parents. We captured that magic. And that for me definitely is part of how I understand Yule and how I understand magic. And eventually when I sat with my dad and I said, we renamed it Peacemas. We said it's a season of peace. And we didn't really rename it. We were joking, but I said, that's what it's about. And so I, as an adult with kids, sought to create that environment and that sacred, warm feeling of giving, which is, I think, at the heart of the season, which is really at the heart of Yule. It's at the heart of all these traditions. During the darkest time of the year, the darkest days of the year, we really reach out for each other and for giving and reach, for that love and for the camaraderie and in the cold times. So I love that. And I try to do that with my kids. And now this is going to be our first season where two of my children are not here for the first time ever. We only have one. So times change, but the season never does. So it's a beautiful thing. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Yule and happy holidays.
I'm gonna play a little guessing game. My birthday is New Year's Eve. What holiday is my favorite? Anyone?
Your birthday.
I do like it, but anybody? Nobody else?
New Year's Eve.
April Fools.
No.
Clearly, it's Labor Day.
It's New Year's Eve because the whole world celebrates you.
I do like my birthday, but a close second or a close first, I don't know which is which. I actually like Valentine's Day.
That is the scandal of my lifetime.
Right?
Right. I'm so confused.
It's all full of pink and hearts and pastels and flowers and candies.
What? You hate pastels?
I know.
What?
Oh,
I don't know why. I love love, and I love Valentine's Day. With that, Miss Heather Greene, what are we going to be doing next week?
E.L.F.
E.L.F. on a shelf?
No,
not on a shelf. He doesn't fit on a shelf.
I'll curb stomp those things. I hate those things. I do. It's not a timeless Christmas tradition. They're creepy looking, and they just don't need to be around. I just absolutely hate those things. Just hate them.
Aww.
I don't think that Will Ferrell will fit on a shelf. So I think we're just doing E.L.F. No shelf.
We will just do E.L.F. Now, I won't be here. I will be quite busy doing witchy things. I can't tell you about them now, but I will be doing witchy things. But we will have our main cast, and we might have a cameo of Jason Mankey playing me. He's the greatest actor in our coven. So
that is not true.
So Jason,
I don't have an IMDb page. You and Patti have IMDb pages.
Me too.
Courtney has an IMDb page.
That was a shock.
Heather probably has an IMDb page. Why am I even on the show? It's nice that you all let me hang out with you. It's really
I know why.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Jason, we're just pushing you to write that 11th book. It's just so you can reach our level of IMDb.
Yeah, be great.
With that, where can we find you, Jason? You're already up. Yeah,
you can find me on your local bookshelves, perhaps. And I'm one of only 4 Jason Mankeys.
On the shelf?
I was thinking we could get Will Ferrell on a mill, so you'd have Will on a mill.
That'll work.
Jason on a mason? I don't know. I'm not sure that works.
Courtney Buckley.
That's me. I am at the Femes on all the socials or some of the socials, but wherever. And yeah, I actively hunt down because I want to find it in the wild and not order it from somewhere. Jason's Little Book of Yule. I think they sell out at the bookstores that I go to before I get my hands on it. So Jason,
hopefully.
Yeah, put some Yule.
Oh, there it is. Look.
Oh, Jason
Mankey for IMDb. What is that? The Witching Hour with Patti Negri. See? You have an IMDb, Jason Mankey.
Wow. I am allowed to be on the show. Shoo.
See? You are indeed allowed. Miss Heather Greene.
I am at heathergreene.net and I have my socials listed there. I usually Heather Greene 01, I think, at the socials. And I have absolutely nothing going on other than family stuff and Yule celebrations for the next month or so. So I'll be here.
Does anybody else have anything going on either? No? Are we all? We're all just going to sit at home in the cold and not celebrate the holidays because that's me.
I'm going to keep the holidays in the most merry and festive and pagan way that I possibly can, going and doing everything that is holiday related in the Bay Area. And if you see me, you can yell at me and I will yell at you, Happy Christmas. But
God bless us, everyone.
You lived in San Francisco. Did you ever go to the Dickens Fair, Richard-Lael?
No.
Do you know what it is?
I mean, I know of it, but when I lived in San Francisco, I was doing a different kind of Dickens fair. If you get the drift.
Fair.
I certainly was. Dickens Fair is fun. I do enjoy it. I love ice skating, even though I'm not very good at it. I do love to ice skate. I haven't been in a very long time. So Kevin says, I just love all you guys. That's so sweet. I guess we are a little bit early. I don't want to end it too soon, but I haven't told you where I am. I won't be here next week. I will be busy. I will be very, very busy. But we will be doing E.L.F. E.L.F. is going to be great. If you find yourself in New Orleans, I am easy to find here in New Orleans. I read tarot here. I do seances here in my fabulous New Orleans home. I'm also thegentlemanpsychic.com, but don't email me. Just message me because I'm telling you, I don't check my emails. Next week we're doing E.L.F. I won't be here. What else can we say in the next minute and a half? I suppose we could just laugh.
I have something to say. I don't think I've recovered from the Valentine's Day comment yet.
Oh,
I'm sitting here like stunned. I'm sorry. It's gonna take like a whole week. I'm gonna need therapy.
I'm having an existential crisis about it, actually. So
the Coven said Richard-Lael's heart grew 10 sizes that day.
I love Valentine's Day.
It's a Christmas miracle.
And you know what else I love about Valentine's Day?
Oh,
I love Victorian Valentines more than I think I like the Christmas ones and I love Krampus. I love those. But I really love Victorian Valentine's cards. And I just love that simple expression. And the corny ones too, that they would say things like, we're having a devil of a time. It's just the most bizarre, weird, or it'll have the cards that sort of look at you with the Google eyes from the early 20s. I love, and hearts are just so beautiful. I love them. I have one in my freezer. Is it human? It might be.
Yes, here we go. Now there's the reason for the season. I'm on board.
Well, we only have about 30 seconds. So I guess there we are. See, like, what is not to love about that? That is so adorable. Anyway, there's one thing left to do. You know what to do. Witches like to cackle. We are going to, I guess, cackle in Icelandic. Is that how we do it? Anyway, 3, 2, 1.